Welcome back, boxing fans, to another great show with Sean on boxing for a late night walk. So I was just listening to Knockout Boxing talking about the Lomachenko retirement, and it's ironic because he barely even talked about Lomachenko. Of course, this is a guy who, of course, never really supported Lomachenko or Top Rank, so he wouldn't be spending too much time actually praising him or talking about anything that he brought to the sport. What he wanted to do is what we expect him to do, make it about Tank Davis and how Tank Davis is some superstar and great fighter who's taking over boxing. And he wanted to talk about how now Tank Davis was in the position to have one of the best undisputed runs in boxing history. As if he didn't have this opportunity before, right? The irony is, this is a guy who's been at the 135-pound division for, 5 years right now? And has yet to face a 135-pound world champion. He's pulled up two 130-pound champions. He's pulled down one 140-pound fighter, and then he fought a lot of in-house opponents. But as far as fighting legitimate top opponents at 135 pounds, we've really yet to see Tank Davis even do that. Yet this is the guy who's going to fight Keyshawn Muratalla and Shakur Stevenson. And of course, when a guy like this talks, he always blames it on everyone else, because it's everyone else's fault that Tank Davis isn't getting the fights. Yet he is the face of boxing. He is the man that can pay more money than anyone else to actually make fights. Let's compare him and Canelo Alvarez for an example. When Canelo Alvarez wants to fight somebody, the fight gets made, because everybody realizes that they can make more money facing him than they can fighting anybody else. So it's just a no-brainer to fight him and make career high paydays, right? Yet somehow for Tank Davis, the same is not true. Yet he is the face of American boxing. Yet he can't pay people enough money to actually generate the biggest fights in and around the weight division. He couldn't pay Devin Haney money to make the fight, couldn't pay Lomachenko money to make the fight, couldn't pay Shakur or anybody else. Yet we're supposed to believe that somehow this is the guy who's going to be fighting for undisputed and doing something great in the sport of boxing. Yet we've waited years and years for him to do that. And the irony is, we're still waiting. We still haven't seen it. We saw him at 130 pounds, and never have a unification fight. Ducked Lomachenko for 6 years at least, ducked the Tevin Farmer fight, didn't try to fight Burchelt or any of the other world champions in and around that division. And this is a guy who has since moved to 135 and hasn't even fought a world champion. But somehow it's not his fault. He is the one who's being hated on. He's the one that wants to do all the great things in the sport of boxing. Yet somehow his name is still being connected to Jake fucking Paul for a celebrity exhibition fight between him and Jake Paul for career high payday, with a potential retirement somewhere in the scene, because he did already mention the possibility of retirement. So we got to take a man at his word. But yet his fanboys are so delusional. And it's ironic because there's so many ridiculous fanboys in boxing. It's crazy. I hear people come on my channel like Evan Deere, who is just a huge Teofimo Lopez fanboy. And I mean, if you want to fanboy yourself to someone, Tio is probably not the guy you want to attach your name to. The guy is a mental fucking midget who literally got beat by George Kambosos. So right there, you're really limiting any conversation you have about sort of hyping him up and talking about him being great, specifically when we've seen him in so many fights where he's been disappointing and underperformed. So many. Sure, he's had two good fights that have been historic, but okay, we can throw Comey in there as well. So that's three. But outside of that, his career has pretty much been a disappointment for the most part. A disappointment, right? You would have to say Devin Haney's career is better than Tio at this point, even though I will say both of them are doing some good things in the sport, but overall, they also both have some disappointing aspects to their sport as well. Both of them. Obviously, we saw Devin Haney struggle with Ryan Garcia. We saw him duck Shakur Stevenson at 135 pounds when he was mandated by the WBC, right? And we've seen him call out fighters like Mario Barros to duck fighters like Boots Ennis. But he's still young. He still has time to do great things, and so does Tio. Even Tank still has time to do great things. The irony is, these ridiculous fans don't hold these people accountable like they do people they hate, right? It's like Mirage, who comes to my channel, dick riding and fanboying for David Benavidez. Like, David Benavidez had years where he could have done great things at 168 pounds. Before Canelo even was at the division, he could have fought Plant, he could have fought Smith, he could have fought Zurdo. He could have done great things and really built his name up and already been a pound-for-pound level fighter. But the irony is he didn't do that. He could have moved up to 175 pounds, a while ago and took on guys like Benavidez and Bivol. But he didn't do that. This is a guy who built his name mostly by clout chasing off of Canelo Alvarez, a fighter who's already done his career, right? He's done everything he needed to do. He proved himself. The onus is now on these younger fighters to do something similar, right? The onus is on them. You can't expect older fighters who've already proven themselves to be the ones that lead the way in boxing. It needs to be these up-and-comers, these hungry young fighters who got shit to prove, right? And how do you prove it? By doing fucking big boy things. But unfortunately, Tank Davis has never been that way. He's been protected on the PBC. He's been protected by fucking Floyd Mayweather. This is a guy who, like Adrian Broner and Errol Spence, was built up primarily because of Floyd Mayweather's name. We saw the way Broner and Spence's careers went, and Tank Davis' career seems to be moving in the same direction, right? If his next opponent after Tevin Farmer, a light-punching 135-pound fighter who didn't have really any big-name wins at 130 pounds, could make you struggle at 135 and force you to rematch him instead of fighting some of the world champions in and around your division, right? Then the question is, are you really that good? Or are you really that committed to the sport of boxing? Because a lot of it might be that. A lot of it might be commitment, right? You can be good, but if you're no longer committed, or if you're mental, like fucking Tio or Ryan Garcia, there's only so much people can ask from you. Obviously, your career is going to be shortened because of lack of ambition, the fact that mentally you're fucking weak, you got the wrong people around you, whatever the situation may be. I like Tank Davis. I know the haters are going to say that I hate him because he's black and he's represented by Al Heyman. Okay. That's totally it. No, like any other fighter, I'm disappointed that one of the top guys in the sport of boxing, who I have on my pound-for-pound list, has yet to try to impress us, has yet to unify, has shown no fucking interest at all in doing anything of that nature. A guy who literally said he was going to retire this year. He said it. I didn't say it. But I'm supposed to somehow defend him and act as if somehow he is great when he's not doing things that other fighters in boxing are doing. And that's the sad reality. Other fighters are doing exactly what we're asking Tank Davis to do. The problem is he ain't doing it.